Nathan stood quietly on the balcony for a few more seconds, watching the conversation in the garden below. His mother and Bella were laughing over something Alena had done earlier that morning. Seeing the two women getting along so naturally brought a faint smile to his face. He shook his head gently. Mom has only been here for one day, he murmured to himself, and she's already made Bella feel like part of the family. Without saying anything, he turned and walked back into the house. Meanwhile, in the garden, Alena came running outside with a skipping rope in her hand. Grandma. Nathan's mother opened her arms. My princess. Alena hugged her tightly before turning to Bella. Auntie Bella, come and skip with me. Bella laughed. I don't think I remember how. Alena placed both hands on her waist dramatically. That's impossible. Every auntie knows how to skip. The three women burst into laughter. Nathan's mother smiled. Go on, Bella. Let's see if you've forgotten. Bella accepted the rope with a shy smile. Don't laugh at me if I fall. Mommy Rose, who had just stepped outside with a basket of freshly washed clothes, chuckled. If you fall, we'll simply help you up. Bella rolled her eyes playfully. Thank you very much. She held both ends of the skipping rope and slowly began jumping. 1, 2, 3. Within a few seconds, she found her rhythm. Alena clapped excitedly. I knew you could do it. Bella laughed as she continued skipping. I haven't done this since secondary school. Nathan's mother watched with admiration. Sometimes, she said softly, the happiest moments in life are the simplest ones. Mommy Rose nodded in agreement. That's very true, Ma. For several minutes, the garden was filled with nothing but laughter. Housekeepers passing by couldn't help smiling. Even the security guards at the gate exchanged amused glances as Elena's joyful laughter echoed across the compound. Later that afternoon, Nathan received a phone call from his office. He stepped into his study to answer it. Hello. Good afternoon, sir. It was his personal assistant. Sorry to disturb you. I just wanted to remind you that the board meeting has been moved to tomorrow morning. Nathan glanced at his calendar. I remember. Please make sure every document is ready before 8. Yes, sir. And there is one more thing. Nathan frowned slightly. What is it? The investors from Abuja have confirmed their visit. They'll be arriving on Friday. Nathan nodded thoughtfully. Good. I'll clear my schedule. Anything else? No, sir. Thank you. Nathan ended the call and leaned back in his chair. Business was becoming busier again. Normally, that would have been all he thought about. But these days, his mind often drifted back to the people waiting downstairs. To Alena. To his mother. And somehow, to Bella. He immediately shook his head. No. What is wrong with me lately? He stood up and walked toward the window. Outside, he could see Bella teaching Alena how to water the flowers without wasting water. The little girl listened carefully, trying her best to copy every instruction. Nathan smiled unconsciously. They really enjoy each other's company. Elsewhere across Lagos. Inside a luxurious apartment, Sonia sat alone on her sofa. The television was on, but she wasn't paying attention. Her thoughts were completely occupied by Nathan. She picked up her phone and stared at his contact. She had called him several times during the past week. None of her calls had been answered. She sighed deeply. This isn't how I imagined everything would turn out. Just then, her closest friend, Vivian, walked into the living room carrying 2 cups of coffee. You've been staring at that phone for almost an hour. Sonia accepted the coffee absent-mindedly. I miss them. Vivian sat beside her. Who? Nathan. And Alena. Vivian looked at her seriously. Do you really miss them? Or do you simply miss the life you had? Sonia looked away without answering. Vivian continued. You've made a lot of mistakes. I know. But feeling sorry isn't enough. Sonia lowered her head. I wish I could go back. Vivian sighed. Life doesn't work that way. You can only move forward. Sonia's eyes filled with tears. I don't even know if Nathan will ever forgive me. Vivian gently held her hand. Maybe he won't. Maybe he will. But if you truly want another chance, you'll have to prove that you've changed. Not with words. With your actions. Sonia nodded slowly. I understand. For the first time in many days, she began thinking less about making excuses. And more about becoming a better person. Back at the mansion, evening had fallen. Dinner had ended, and Elena was already upstairs preparing for bed. Bella tucked the little girl beneath her blanket. Story time? Elena asked hopefully. Bella smiled. Just one story. I have school tomorrow. Elena nodded excitedly. I'm ready. Bella sat beside the bed. When I was about your age, my mother used to tell me a story every night. Elena rested her head on Bella's lap. What was it about? Bella smiled warmly. It was about a tiny bird. A bird that believed its wings were too small to fly. Elena listened carefully. One day, the bird watched all the bigger birds soaring high above the trees. It became sad. It thought it would never be like them. So it stopped trying. Elena frowned. That's sad. Bella nodded. But one wise old eagle noticed. He told the little bird something it never forgot. Elena looked curious. What did he say? Bella smiled gently. He said, the size of your wings doesn't decide how high you can fly. Your courage does. Elena smiled. So the little bird tried again. Bella nodded. Again. And again. And again. Until one day, it flew higher than it had ever imagined. Elena smiled sleepily. So, the lesson is never give up. Bella kissed her forehead. Exactly. No matter what anyone says. No matter how difficult life becomes. Never stop believing in yourself. Elena yawned. I like that story. I'm going to remember it forever. Bella smiled. I hope you do. Within a few minutes, Elena had fallen fast asleep. Bella quietly switched off the bedside lamp and walked toward the door. As she stepped into the hallway, she found Nathan standing there. He looked slightly embarrassed. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to eavesdrop. Bella smiled politely. It's all right, sir. Nathan glanced toward Elena's room. I heard the story. Bella looked surprised. You did? He nodded. It was beautiful. I think. He smiled softly. I needed to hear it too. Bella looked at him for a moment before smiling warmly. Sometimes, sir. Adults also need bedtime stories. Nathan laughed quietly. You might be right. For a brief moment, neither of them spoke. The hallway was silent. Comfortably silent. Then Nathan finally broke the silence. Thank you. Bella looked confused. For what, sir? Nathan looked toward Elena's bedroom. For bringing laughter back into this house. Bella didn't know how to respond. She simply smiled. Good night, sir. Good night, Bella. As Bella walked away, Nathan remained standing in the hallway. He realized something that both frightened and comforted him at the same time. The mansion no longer felt like an empty house. Somehow, without anyone noticing, it had slowly become a home again. Nathan remained standing outside Elena's bedroom long after Bella had disappeared down the hallway. He slowly exhaled and rested one hand against the wall. Bringing laughter back into this house. He whispered to himself. He smiled faintly. When was the last time I said something like that to anyone? For years, the mansion had been nothing more than a place where he came home to sleep after long hours at work. It had been filled with expensive furniture, beautiful decorations, and complete silence. Now things were different. There was laughter in the mornings. There were bedtime stories every night. Even the dining table, which had once been quiet, was now filled with conversations and jokes. Nathan couldn't deny the truth any longer. Bella's presence had changed the atmosphere of the house. He shook his head. No. I shouldn't think too much about it. He quietly walked toward his bedroom. The next morning, the mansion woke earlier than usual. Nathan had an important board meeting with investors from Abuja, and everyone was busy helping him prepare. Mommy Rose packed his breakfast neatly into a food flask. Sir, please don't skip breakfast today. Nathan smiled while adjusting his wristwatch. I'll try. Mommy Rose folded her arms. No, sir. Not I'll try. You must eat. Nathan laughed. All right. You've won. I'll eat. Bella walked into the living room with Elena, whose school bag was hanging loosely over one shoulder. Good morning, sir. Nathan looked up. Good morning. Elena smiled brightly. Daddy, don't forget your lunch. Nathan laughed. Now both of you have joined hands against me. Bella smiled. Someone has to make sure you take care of yourself. Nathan looked at her for a brief moment before smiling. I suppose you're right. Just then, his mother walked downstairs. I can hear laughter all the way from my room. Nathan stood up. Good morning, Mom. She smiled. Good morning. Then she looked at Bella. My daughter, thank you for helping with Elena. Bella nodded respectfully. It's my pleasure, Ma. Nathan's mother smiled knowingly. I can see that. A few minutes later, everyone walked outside together. The driver opened the back door of Nathan's black SUV. Nathan bent down and kissed Elena on the forehead. Be a good girl in school. I will. And listen to your teachers. I always do. He smiled. I know. Then Elena hugged him tightly. Good luck with your meeting, Daddy. Nathan looked surprised. Thank you, Princess. Bella smiled. She prayed for you this morning. Nathan looked at Elena. You did. Elena nodded proudly. I asked God to help you win your meeting. Nathan's heart melted. He gently hugged his daughter again. Thank you. That means more to me than you know. His mother watched the scene quietly. A peaceful smile spread across her face. After Nathan's car drove out of the compound, Bella held Elena's hand. Come on. We don't want to be late. Elena nodded. Okay. The school driver was already waiting. As Bella helped Elena into the vehicle, the little girl suddenly turned around. Auntie Bella. Yes. When Daddy smiles, he looks younger. Bella laughed softly. I've noticed that too. Elena smiled. You make him smile a lot. Bella froze for a second. What do you mean? Elena shrugged innocently. Before you came, Daddy hardly smiled. Now he laughs almost every day. Bella looked away, not knowing how to respond. She simply kissed Elena's forehead. Have a wonderful day at school. I will. The school bus drove away. Bella remained standing by the gate for a few moments. Elena's innocent words echoed repeatedly in her mind. You make him smile? Bella sighed quietly. No. I'm only doing my job. She turned and walked back into the house. Meanwhile, Nathan arrived at his company headquarters. The boardroom was already filled with executives and investors. Everyone stood as he entered. "Good morning, sir." "Good morning." Nathan confidently took his seat at the head of the table. "Ladies and gentlemen, let's begin." For the next 2 hours, the meeting went exceptionally well. Nathan answered every question with confidence. His presentation impressed the investors. When the meeting finally ended, one of the senior investors approached him. "Mr. Nathan, I've attended many business presentations, but yours was one of the best." Nathan smiled politely. "Thank you." The investor shook his hand firmly. "We look forward to working with your company." Nathan smiled. "The feeling is mutual." As the visitors left, Ken walked into the boardroom with a wide grin. "My friend." Nathan laughed. "What?" Ken patted him on the shoulder. "I've known you for years. I've never seen you this relaxed during a meeting." Nathan looked surprised. "Really?" Ken nodded. "Normally, you're always tense. Today, you look different." Nathan smiled thoughtfully. "I've been sleeping better lately." Ken laughed. "I wonder why." Nathan simply smiled without answering. Deep down, he already knew the answer. Back at the mansion, Bella and Mommy Rose were sorting groceries in the kitchen when the house telephone rang. Mommy Rose answered. "Hello." She listened for a moment before smiling. "1 minute." She covered the receiver. "Bella. It's your mother." Bella's face lit up immediately. "My mother." She quickly took the phone. "Mama. My daughter. How are you?" "I'm fine. And you?" "I'm doing well." Her mother's voice sounded cheerful. "I just wanted to hear your voice." Bella smiled. "I was planning to visit this weekend." Her mother laughed. "Good. Your younger brother has been asking about you." "Really?" "Yes. He said the house is too quiet whenever you're away." Bella smiled emotionally. "I miss all of you too." Her mother became serious. "My daughter. There's something else." Bella's smile faded slightly. "What is it?" Her mother hesitated. "Nothing bad. But your younger sister has been invited to represent her school in an inter-school debate competition." Bella smiled proudly. "That's wonderful. She has always loved debating." "Yes. But..." Her mother sighed. "They're asking every participant to contribute towards transportation and accommodation." Bella immediately understood. "How much?" Her mother hesitated again. "I didn't call to ask you for money. I only wanted to tell you." Bella smiled gently. "Mama. Tell me the amount." After a brief silence, her mother mentioned the figure. Without hesitation, Bella replied. "Don't worry. I'll send it before this evening." Her mother immediately protested. "My daughter. You've already done so much for this family." Bella smiled. "Mama. My sister's education is important. If God has blessed me enough to help, then let me help." Her mother's voice trembled with emotion. "God will continue to bless you." Bella smiled as tears gathered in her eyes. Amen. After ending the call, she remained standing quietly with the phone in her hand. Mommy Rose walked over. "Everything all right?" Bella nodded with a smile. "Yes. My younger sister has qualified for a debate competition." Mommy Rose smiled proudly. "Just like her elder sister." Bella laughed. "I hope she becomes even better than me." Mommy Rose looked at Bella with admiration. "You never stop thinking about your family." Bella smiled softly. "They're the reason I work so hard." Neither of them noticed that Nathan's mother had been standing quietly outside the kitchen door. She had overheard the entire conversation. Without saying a word, she smiled to herself. The more I know this young woman, the more remarkable she becomes. And somewhere deep inside her heart, her respect for Bella continued to grow. Nathan's mother quietly stepped away from the kitchen before Bella noticed she had been standing there. A gentle smile remained on her face. What a remarkable young woman, she whispered to herself. So young. Yet she carries so much responsibility. She slowly walked toward the sitting room, her mind filled with thoughts about Bella. I've met people with wealth who have no compassion. And I've met people with very little who have hearts of gold. She smiled. Bella belongs to the second group. Meanwhile, Bella returned to arranging the groceries with Mommy Rose. Mommy Rose noticed that Bella looked unusually thoughtful. My daughter. Bella looked up. Yes, Mommy Rose. You've been carrying a lot on your mind lately. Bella forced a smile. I'm alright. Mommy Rose shook her head gently. No. I've known you long enough to know when something is bothering you. Bella remained silent for a few moments. Finally, she sighed. I'm just thinking about my family. My younger sister is growing so fast. My younger brothers also need support. Sometimes, I wonder if I'll ever be able to do enough for all of them. Mommy Rose smiled kindly. No matter how much you do, family will always need one another. But don't forget something. Bella looked at her. What? You also deserve to live your own life. Bella smiled faintly. I know. But for now, my family comes first. Mommy Rose nodded with understanding. May God continue to strengthen you. Amen. That afternoon, Nathan returned home much earlier than expected. The sound of his car entering the compound surprised everyone. Bella looked through the window. Sir is back already. Mommy Rose smiled. His meeting must have gone well. A few moments later, Nathan walked into the living room carrying a small gift bag. Good afternoon, everyone. Everyone greeted him warmly. Good afternoon, sir. Nathan looked unusually cheerful. I have good news. Mommy Rose smiled. The meeting. Nathan nodded. It was a success. The investors approved the partnership. Everyone clapped happily. Congratulations, sir. Thank you. Nathan smiled before looking around the room. Where's Alena? She's still at school. The driver will bring her back soon. Nathan nodded. Good. I bought something for her. He lifted the colorful gift bag. Mommy Rose laughed. Our princess will be very happy. Nathan smiled. I hope so. Just then, his mother walked into the sitting room. I heard congratulations. Nathan turned toward her. Mom. The meeting went perfectly. She smiled proudly. I knew it would. I've been praying for you. Nathan hugged her briefly. Thank you. Less than 30 minutes later, the school bus drove into the compound. The moment Alena stepped out, she spotted Nathan. Daddy. She ran as fast as her little legs could carry her. Nathan opened his arms. My princess. She hugged him tightly. You came home early. I wanted to surprise you. Alena smiled excitedly. I have something to tell you. Nathan laughed. And I have something for you. Her eyes widened. For me. Nathan handed her the colorful gift bag. Alena opened it immediately. Inside was a beautiful educational science kit along with a storybook about famous African inventors. Her face lit up with excitement. Daddy. I love it. Nathan smiled. I knew you would. Bella stood nearby watching the father and daughter. She couldn't help smiling. Mommy Rose leaned toward her and whispered softly. Our sir hasn't bought gifts like this in a very long time. Bella smiled. Maybe he's simply happier these days. Mommy Rose nodded knowingly. Maybe. That evening, everyone gathered in the living room after dinner. Alena was busy showing her grandmother the science kit Nathan had bought. Grandma, look. It even has a microscope. Nathan's mother laughed. So my granddaughter is becoming a scientist now? Alena nodded confidently. Or maybe a doctor. Nathan smiled proudly. You can become anything you want. Bella added. As long as you work hard. Alena nodded seriously. I will. Nathan quietly watched Bella. He noticed how naturally she encouraged Alena. She never tried to take credit. She simply guided the little girl with patience and kindness. His admiration for her continued to grow. Later that night, after Alena had gone to sleep, Nathan sat alone on the veranda with a cup of coffee. The compound was peaceful. Only the sound of crickets could be heard. A few minutes later, his mother walked outside. I knew I'd find you here. Nathan smiled. Couldn't sleep. She shook her head. I wanted to spend a little time with my son. Nathan pulled out the chair beside him. Sit down. She sat quietly. For a while, neither of them spoke. Finally, she looked at Nathan. My son. Can I ask you something? Nathan smiled. When have you ever needed permission? She laughed softly. Fair enough. Her expression then became serious. Are you happy? Nathan looked surprised. Why do you ask? Because I've watched you these past 2 days. You laugh more. You smile more. And for the first time in years, you look peaceful. Nathan looked down at the coffee in his hands. I think I'm beginning to find myself again. His mother nodded. I'm happy to hear that. She hesitated before continuing. But I also want to ask you something else. Nathan looked at her. What is it? She spoke carefully. Have you ever thought about giving your heart another chance? Nathan immediately understood what she meant. He sighed deeply. Mom. I'm not ready for that conversation. She smiled gently. I didn't mention anyone. I only asked a question. Nathan remained silent. She continued softly. Life hurts us sometimes. It disappoints us. It breaks us. But if we allow fear to control us forever, we may miss the blessings God places in front of us. Nathan looked out into the darkness. Her words settled deeply in his heart. He didn't respond. Not because he disagreed, but because he wasn't yet ready to admit that his heart had slowly begun to open again. His mother smiled quietly. She didn't need an answer. Sometimes, a mother's heart understood the things her child could not yet put into words. As they sat together beneath the peaceful Lagos night sky, neither of them noticed Bella walking across the upstairs hallway. She paused briefly by the balcony, looking down at the quiet garden before returning to Elena's room to check on her one last time. 3 lives. Each carrying different burdens. Each praying for different answers. And none of them realizing that destiny was already weaving their paths together in ways they could never have imagined.